My name's Barb Iverson, and for 37 years I was a teacher. 34 of those were at the junior high, middle school, Patrick Henry and Sioux Falls, mostly 8th grade. And now I'm a retired teacher. And people ask if I miss teaching, and it was the right place to be for 37 years. For kids to really enjoy learning, whether it's reading or writing, they have to trust you, I really think, before they'll buy into the whole process. And I guess I've been blessed with being kind of intuitive about young people. And, you know, I just saw a lot of the problems many of the kids had. And so I guess it was always easy for me to go out of my way to either give extra help after school or give them a ride home or to a track meet or something like that. When I grew up, actually, in the 50s and 60s, my family, I had 3 brothers, we did have a little skateboard, you know, the little narrow red ones with roller skate wheels. So we did have that, and none of us were very good. In the Midwest, you didn't have anything fancy or anything. It did start with Micah, which would have been 29, 30 years ago. That was such a big part of his life, and I had a number of students then, those first couple years, who enjoyed the skating. And we took a road trip to Des Moines, and my folks lived there at the time, so we got to stay at their house and skated the park there, the indoor. It was an industrial part of the city. And I remember taking a group of kids. At this time, they didn't have their licenses, so we went up to Mankato. I took a group, and we went down to Omaha. And then whenever there'd be a competition, if I knew about it and could go, I would go and take pictures. And I remember taking one of Micah that I thought was so cool, and he's just skating the flat bottom of a half pipe. And to me it looked cool at the time, but as some of those first kids, McGreevy and Peterson, Versteeg, and then Jeff Gagnon built a huge ramp out at his place, and I was able to help with that a little bit and try to get to a couple of the competitions. I never got married or had my own children, so I had the extra time. Skating was always pretty special. And it's because of people, you know, people like Micah who've had a passion for years, and there are many more like Micah, and Joey Schultz and Aaron Ort, you know, whose senior project in college for videography was to do skateboarding, and the teacher was just so leery about that. And when they showed it before the class and the teachers, everybody applauded, you know, because it was the quality of these kids loving something. Well, I think part of it was just that image, that stereotype, that skateboarding wasn't as good as basketball or football. It wasn't a traditional sport that the school district supported. And just loving working with 8th graders, I knew that there was a huge chunk of people who loved skating, and it was very athletic, very technical with the skill. And so I wanted to give support to someone who didn't always have the support of the community. I guess a couple things that stick out in my mind is there was such a friendship between the older skaters and the new younger kids that would want to learn. They would be kind of hanging around the older guys, and the older guys were happy to help the young kids and watch them and be role models for them, teach them new tricks. So I really like that about it. It's a creative sport, you know, no set rules for a lot of things. You can design your own tricks. I guess I just like that outlet for camaraderie, for learning a technical skill, for staying focused on something. I think it kept a lot of kids out of trouble. I'd take all these pictures and try to give them to the kids. And the Kaufman brothers, the twins, I'd taken a picture, and I think it was John, but it could have been James, skating down a rail, the stairs and the rail. And he took it, and unbeknownst to me, he sent it into Trans World, and they published it. Well, I think it's an incredible vision to have for the city of Sioux Falls, and even though I don't really want to see Sioux Falls grow bigger and bigger, but it will, and being able to provide a skate park like that would be a draw from all over the region and maybe even further.